6101 or visit fountaingroveinn.com.
What's Cooking program, nationwide, coast to coast, TRN Digital Talk Radio. I'm Michael Horn. That is Paul Stern.
Mike, I don't think there's anything more fun that we do here on the What's Cooking program than when we welcome in Chef William Bloxam Carter from the Playboy Mansion to the microphone to kind of give us that kind of extra added perspective on what goes on at the mansion. Nobody knows any more than the chef, and Chef Carter is here with us in studio.
Welcome, Chef William Bloxam Carter.
Good morning, Paul. Good morning, Michael. It's a pleasure to be here.
Good to always have you with us. Now, you know, everything goes on with you. First off, congratulations there. Your boss there, the great Hugh Hefner, trying to get the whole Playboy Enterprises back under private rule. Also married again, is that correct?
It's coming along. He's actually engaged, and I got to tell you, I really think that this is the one. They're such lovebirds together.
Really? And
so romantic. You got to remember, this is a guy that could buy and sell, you know, San Fernando Valley in a heartbeat before breakfast, and he's really the romantic at heart, and I think it's a perfect match to pop the question on Christmas Eve with a Christmas tree and the train going around it. It was just really special. And Crystal, of course, is just a wonderful, wonderful person. You know, I work for her as well as I do for Mr. Hefner, and she's really a great person to work for.
All right, so there you go. So this is going to be a good one here, and I'm telling you, true love knows no boundaries. It can happen at any stage of your life, and so this is kind of fun. And so congratulations to Crystal and to Mr. Hefner, and this is going to be kind of fun going through the whole Playboy season with the various parties you do and the jazz festivals and things of that nature. I think it's going to add a little bit of a lightness to everything and a little more kind of a spring in the step of everybody that attends the events, and maybe possibly in what you prepare at the mansion. Would that be the case?
Absolutely. We've turned a new leaf as far as the different types of food. You never want to repeat yourself with things, so you're always offering new items going on. We have, coming up in February, so many events going on, particularly around the NBA All-Star Game, which is being hosted in Los Angeles this year. So we have quite a few parties. We kick off on Thursday night, February 3rd, with a large event for about 650 guests. And I just received an email back from that person stating how wonderful. He read my menu in front of his entire staff, and he said the oohs and ahs were just going crazy on it. But I got to tell you, Michael, I know that you and Paul are both into wine. We've bumped into one another at many a wine tasting, as well as gone to the Syrah Symposium years ago. And the takeaway from the San Francisco Chronicle wine competition just blew me away. It is the Super Bowl of wine competitions.
All right, let's get into this now a little bit, because you know, we always hear about competitions and judging and all that, and you judge as many or more, and possibly some of the greatest competitions. First, tell everybody, what is it? What goes on at a wine competition? Why should we as consumers be aware of these wine competitions, and what do they do for us as people that go out and have to make a selection and buy wines?
Well, that's a very good question, and that's what I wanted to address today with your listeners, is the consumer slant on everything going on. First of all, the results from the San Francisco wine competition are published in the paper, but we don't receive typically the San Francisco Chronicle down here. So you can go to a website called winejudging.com. It's a non-commercial site, and they list everything there that has won bronze, silver, golds, double golds, and then the sweepstakes awards. But more importantly, this is kind of you could say, well, it's a marketing ploy for the wineries. It really isn't, because you have 60 critical palates judging these wines blind and then tasting them again in many instances to determine where they stand in the scheme of things. And what was going through my mind was that it was so nice to see so many different wineries, smaller wineries now coming along that are only a 5,000, 10,000 case producer, and saying, you know, I'm going to submit wines to this competition because I think they're pretty darn good, and then to have them come out as a gold. The biggest wake-up call for me was that Paso Robles is putting out some wonderful stuff. There was a tie for the sweepstakes red wine, and at the end of the day, one a Cabernet, one a Zinfandel, both from Paso Robles.
Wow. So Paso, you've always been very high on Paso Robles. You are, as far back as I can remember, you were one of the people that started telling us, hey, check this out, man. The Paso Robles area has some incredibly great wines.
Yes, that is correct. And actually, one of my wineries that I showcase at the Playboy Mansion by the Glass program, Eberly Winery, came away with a double gold for their and best of class for their Muscat Canelli, a dessert wine, which is very difficult to make.
All right, hold the phone now. This is two days in a row. Last night doing the What's Cooking on Wine show from the famed Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Pasadena, and the famed Louis Lucas was with us as a guest from Lucas and Llewellyn, and he does about, 20-plus varieties of wines, and he was there in 1972 planting, and he's making wines now. And we were talking about wines that come back, and guess what wine he mentioned? Muscat. He said this is coming back, and now here comes the next day's show, the great chef William Bloxam Carter from the Playboy Mansion, and you're mentioning Muscat Canelli. And Louis Lucas says people talk dry, but they taste, they drink sweet. What's going on here? What's with the Muscat? Making a big reappearance on the wine scene?
It's making a comeback, and I think from a menu proposition, and I know that CRN Digital Talk Radio hosts many dinners, wine dinners here in the local area.
Hopefully one soon at the Playboy Mansion, but yes, go ahead.
But they we're looking for something other than port, and I think that by bringing on a Muscat Canelli, where you get that little bit of sweetness. Now, getting back to the consumer palate, though, people are trending more towards the sweeter wines, and
so that is true.
Yes, it is true.
Yeah, if I could mention one of the great palates that I've known in my lifetime, Jeremy Wilkinson, he just once described a good Muscat as liquid creme brulee.
That's a very, very good description with a little bit of a floral finish on it is what you want to look for on it. But also, if anybody any of your listeners happen to be in San Francisco over the weekend of Saturday, February 19th, down at Fort Mason, they have the public tasting of all the gold and double gold winners from the San Francisco wine competition.
Oh.
And it's from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Now, I have been to Fort Mason for trade tastings and things like this. They have the ZAP up there, and they have Family Winemakers of California in the same building. It is a large building, so you never feel claustrophobic, and I would highly recommend to anybody just get a Southwest ticket out of Burbank here, jump on the plane, go up, get in, take the BART across from the Bay Area, from Oakland or something from the Burbank run, and go in and taste these wines. It'll give you a great education. Other than that, pick up from the list of winners and then work with your local wine merchant. Wilfred Wong is a good friend of mine, and he, of course, makes a lot of recommendations for beverages and more. That's a good one to work on as well.
Of course, attending an event at the mansion, if you're so lucky or so fortunate to do so, you might actually get to encounter some of these wines that you kind of experience in some of your wine tastings as well.
That's a good point, Paul. Very good.
Good. You're talking about making the recommendations. You make them all for the mansion, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to find out more. The great chef William Bloxam Carter is with us in the studio. A couple of points to kind of tantalize our taste buds here during the break is and this is something we want to talk with the chef about. We're trending towards sweeter wines. I want to find out exactly what Chef Carter means about that. Plus, we want to find out a little bit more about the San Francisco Chronicle competition and the fact that on the 19th of this month, you will be able to sample some of the wines there in San Francisco. That's all ahead and more on the What's Cooking program. Michael Horn, Paul Stern, Chef William Bloxam Carter, the rock and roll chef from the Playboy Mansion on CRN Digital Talk Radio.
Want to know how you can get the latest in consumer